Data privacy is just one goal, and there are of course other goals. And these goals often are in conflict to each other. For example, you have data privacy as one goal and reducing costs as another goal. Let's give concrete examples which have to be solved in practice. According to the GDPR, if a company is handling personal data about people, then they have to document which data, for what kind of duty this data is handled, for what purpose, what processes are involved, and what do they do to protect this kind of data. And of course, all this documentation requires costs. And that's an issue for small companies which are not really into this issue. For example, a physician who is focusing on medicine is not an expert in handling data. Another issue would be data privacy versus information liberty. So in our society, as well in other countries in the EU, we have what it's called information liberty. So on the one hand, personal data must be protected. On the other hand, other data has to be available for the complete public audience. And here different countries have solved this goal conflict in a different way. For example, in Sweden, you know how much money is earning your neighbor, simply because the tax from which you can derive the salary, the tax is something which falls under information liberty. So you can look up in public records how much tax has your neighbor paid. In Germany, salary is a little bit a holy issue. So this is something which is taken very private. So you see, although both countries do have the same goals and they have the same goal conflict, they solved it in different ways. Data privacy versus fighting crimes. Data privacy is some kind of right which all criminals do have as well. So in practice, this means as long as there is no hard facts which allows you to think here is somebody doing some criminal task, you're not allowed, the police is not allowed to simply take your computer and have a look on this data. Same for data privacy versus military, defending the EU, for example. So if somebody is suspected to spy, it still requires some decision by a justice that you can start supervising, doing some kind of surveillance according to these people, because otherwise you would not follow the GDPR law. Data privacy and research in medicine, especially when it comes to illness, which are quite rarely, it's hard to protect the people and the data from these people. On the other hand, if this data is not made available to medical companies, you will have a hard fight simply to get information about illnesses, about disease, and so on, and you can't research for countermeasures. So here again we have a conflict between two different goals, data privacy on the one hand and research in medicine on the other hand.